UFC Grasso vs. Shevchenko 2 takes place September 16th in the T-Mobile Arena in Las Vegas, and the card is looking kind of iffy, but we got Valentina looking to reclaim her belt from Alexa Grasso. We got the return of JDM, a prospect in the welterweight division. We also got the return from the recently beaten Raul Rosas Jr. and plenty other good fights on the card. That being said, let's hop straight into the fight of the night, which is going to be... The fight of the night is going to be Jack Della Manalana versus Kevin Holland. This is a bit obvious, but it's the most explosive two prospects. One of them was getting close to title contention in middleweight. Jack Della Manalana still has a lot of unknowns to answer, and some of my key points obviously is going to be the power punching mixed with the crisp boxing from Jack Della. I mean, it's just beautiful to watch. And he sat down Randy Brown, the body shots against, and then the unpredictability from Kevin Holland is actually like something that like people overlook. He was doing good in that Stephen Thompson fight, like actually like standing up with him, which was super impressive for 4 rounds basically until he started to get dominated. Obviously the body shots against the cage, and Kevin Holland's a legit grappler, and he's been saying in these interviews that he's gonna mix up the martial arts because Jack Della Manalana doesn't get the respect that he gave to Stephen Wonderboy. And man, the lack of grappling IQ from Jack Della Manalana is making this finish waiting to happen for either guy. But with that being said, that takes us right into our first fight that we're going to go and predict, which is going to be Roman Kopylov versus Josh Fremd. Now, this is a wonderful fight. No clue why it's on the prelims. But to start off, Josh Fremd is an insane grappler, and he has great cardio. I mean, I've been high on Josh Fremd because he lasted 3 rounds with Anthony Hernandez, who's running through people right now. Hernandez, right? I'm high on Hernandez too. Josh did not like give up. He like was there the whole time. And if you look at Roman Kopylov, his losses are submission losses to Carl Roberts, a guy who got cut, a guy like Albert Duraev, and I get he's a good Dagestani grappler, but it's not the toughest competition. And I get that Josh Fremd got submitted by Tresean Gore, but he got caught, and you know it happens sometimes. But that doesn't take anything away from Roman Kopylov's striking. It is a thing of beauty, man. Like, he set up that head kick so nice against Claudio Ribeiro. The thing that's kind of weird for me though is that really nobody was talking about Roman Kopylov before that fight. Like, nobody, really. And then he gets that head kick KO, and then he's the middleweight Peter Yan. But then they forget about the Albert Duraev and stuff. Great striker. Insane power. Man, Josh Fremd looked good on the feet against Jamie Pickett. I mean, he was timing flying knees. He was going out there, and he was looking good. And Josh Fremd's losses outside of the UFC was by a guy named Gregory Rodriguez. We all know RoboCop. He's killing it. Well, he's not killing it anymore. He got knocked out by Bruno Silva, but he was on a win streak. Like, even Stylebender was looking at him. So let's look at the keys of victory here. For Roman Kopylov, I put down keep range and mix in kicks and knees. You know, try to catch Josh Fremd, because if Josh Fremd pulls a Sean Strickland and doesn't take this down, Roman Kopylov's winning 100%. Let's talk about one thing though. Those odds are crazy. I mean, people are high on Roman Kopylov, and I mean, I kind of don't blame him, but this is a tough fight to pick. But if I were to pick anybody, I'm picking Josh Fremd. This is a safe, in my opinion, I'm not a financial advisor, this is a safe bet because, man, Josh Fremd is like almost a nightmare matchup. Besides the fact that he can get caught on the ground like with a guillotine. You know, this one's going to be close. I think I mixed up the KO TKO with the submission. It should be 70% sub and 10% TKO, 20%. Yeah, I copy and pasted it from the other side. Anyways, we move on to the next fight. That's a great one. Raul Rosas versus Terrence Mitchell. Okay. When this fight got announced, I thought this is a tough one. That's what I instantly thought, because Terrence Mitchell, like, I remember he had a good record. He was on the Ultimate Fighter. But then, no. You look into it, and Terrence Mitchell's last 4 wins combined record was 0-6. And he got destroyed by Cameron Simon, destroyed by Kai Kara France. Keep in mind, those are both elite fighters. I'm high on Cameron Simon. I think he's going to go places. But he's going out there, and he's like, he gets hit one time, or he shoots one takedown, gets caught in a guillotine, and then it almost looks like he gives up. Rosas, man, he's coming off a loss. He's still 18 years old, man. This kid's got so much potential. He's a year older than me. And he's already had, how many fights does he have? He has 8 fights total. He has 7 more fights than me, which is crazy. And to write him off after 1 loss is crazy. I mean, he put on a performance against Jay Perrin, who had a solid performance in the UFC before that. And he just puts on displays of variety that I like to point out. But my key points is Rosas is a really fast starter, and this could kind of go into both guys' favor because they both they got almost one gust of effort before they're tired. But Rosas does have super slick back takes. Got to be aware of that. One thing I noticed from Rosas when he lost against Christian Rodriguez was he has a huge lack in chain wrestling. If I recall correctly, I picked Christian Rodriguez to win the fight, but Rosas did good in the first, he was doing good and gassed out, and then it was all just shots from wide open or poorly timed shots, and then he would sit and sprawl, and he wouldn't do an arm drag, get back, and instead of going for a double leg, you could change off to a single leg, you know what I'm saying? Or he's stuck in sprawl, he didn't work back up, he kind of held the arm and kind of stalled, and he got on bottom and side control, and Christian, man, he was doing a good job holding him down. Terrence, man, he's got a huge lack in competition. I mean, like I said, combined record 0-6 in his last 4 wins. And Jay Perrin is better than most of who Terrence Mitchell has beaten, in my opinion. MMA math never works. So this could be complete, maybe all of Terrence Mitchell's fighters were just not in their prime or something. But Rosas is young. I don't think he has finishing power, knockout power, even though I think Terrence's chin isn't quite there. Final thoughts, man. It's just looking like a dominant win for Rosas. I got it 70-30. I don't think he gets the job done by KO/TKO. I think he submits him in round number 2. I think that's the most reasonable thing. He could decision it out because he did get that decision on Dana White Contender Series, but after his last fight, I don't think he's gonna slide by with a decision. Anyways, that brings me to my favorite fight of this whole entire card, the one that I'm most excited for. Kevin Holland versus JDM. Whew. This is in my opinion, one of the bigger fraud checks of this year. If Kevin Holland can do what Basil Hafez did, because I think Kevin Holland can do it, he would beat JDM. Keys to victory, we'll go over that first. I kind of forgot to do that for the last one. But Kevin Holland on the feet, he's got to stay on the outside, He's pretty good at that. He's got to move around, and he can't get his back against the cage because, man, JDM, he just goes boom, 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 boom. He goes body, body, head, body, body. And, JDM hits so hard. It's crazy, the combinations he throws. Keys to victory for JDM, stay behind the jab, move, 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 constantly going forward, no jumping on guillotines. Big mistake. If he did that against Kevin Holland, he's getting controlled for the whole round. Kevin Holland has been in these main event situation before, And last time we saw JDM have this situation, it was after a bunch of weight cuts. You know, there could be like a confidence issue there. I'm not saying like it's well, it is a big thing, but I'm not saying it's gonna like be the reason why he loses. But JDM, he looks terrible on the scales every single time he fights. I remember in that post-weigh-in show, he was like seizing up. Never good to see. Kevin Holland, man, is a legit BJJ black belt. And that performance against Wonderboy in the first couple rounds, rocking Wonderboy. I get Wonderboy's old, but he's still a slick striker. You know, he wanted to test himself against Wonderboy, but he said in interviews that he's not going to do that against JDM.
Kevin down, blah, 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 but he gets taken down, right? So, like, do you think this is going to be a stand-up war, or do you think it's going to be more like a mixed martial arts fight?
It's going to be a mixed martial arts fight. He's not Wonderboy. He doesn't get the credit or the respect that he deserves to make me fight one specific way. It's be a mixed martial arts fight. He does certain things to leave opportunity for other things. He doesn't do those things, it leaves opportunity for other things. Overall, I'm going to take what the defense gives me, and his defense gives me a lot of shit. You dig?
And that really worries me, because I feel like Kevin Holland's going to go out there, talk some smack, jab, jab, right hand, and then what if he shoots? Like, that could be game over for JDM. And that ties in with this performance against Basile Fez. Basile didn't win the fight, but he humiliated JDM in round 1 and almost like half of round 2, and really almost fraud checked JDM with just grapple IQ knowledge. He kind of stopped it at the end, jumping on them guillotines, but like he was getting controlled in the first, dropped the first, and then he almost lost the second, but JDM landed some good combos. Hafez was kind of just slugging it out with him. Speaking of slugging, if JDM tries to slug it out with Kevin Holland and go for a finish, he's not going to get it. Kevin Holland has never been dropped, never been like... Wonderboy was hitting him with like spinning back kicks against the fence and like killing him, and they were not literally, but you get what I mean. He was like unloading, and the heart from Kevin Holland is what I worry about, because he's like, oh, my hand, this and that, you know what I'm saying, like almost like he wanted a way out of there even though he was legitly hurt. That's the only thing I don't see JDM getting him to the head. If anything, I see Kevin Holland. If anybody finds a knockdown in this fight, it's Kevin Holland, in my opinion, unless if it's JDM by a body shot. And man, there's no way Kevin Holland submits Chiesa, but he can't submit JDM. Which, final thoughts, man. I think this is a lock of the card. I got Kevin Holland. I'm going to go by a split decision or a late third round submission after a complete exhausted JDM is in the cage. And I feel like JDM's good, but like the welterweight division isn't middleweight where you could get away with just striking. I would honestly want JDM to win because like a new face in the welterweight division, but I feel like Kevin Holland, people are overlooking Kevin Holland. It's insane that he's an underdog. Okay. Moving on to the last fight that we're going to do a detailed breakdown on. Alexa Grasso versus Valentina Shevchenko. The rematch. Okay, so Alexa's success was boxing in the first round. And she was landing pretty good. Alexa got robbed by Carlos Barza. She beat some pretty good people before getting to the title shot. But I feel like Valentina's dominance is crazy because, like, she beat Tyler Santos, which is kind of the newer generation. She beat Joanna, older generation, and, like, Andrade, which is kind of the last generation. Like, she's, like, still beating and, like, destroying these people. Besides Talia. Talia made it close. But look what, like, Talia did to Blanchfield. You know what I'm saying? Like, Blanchfield was going out there killing everybody in the first round, basically, and Talia made that a really close fight. Some people think she won. But, which brings us to this question. What if Valentina never thrown that spinning kick? Because it was a beautiful counter-grappling situation from Alexa, just hopping right onto the back. But what if that wasn't thrown? I feel like Shevchenko was easily on her way, and to winning because she was controlling the fight just a few moments before Grasso jumped on the back. It's got to be a confidence thing from Grasso, though. You know, she's got to be like, oh, I'm winning. I just won. So there could be a confidence thing going in there. But, man, Shevchenko's just better all around. She's grappling with Talia. She's holding her own against the new generation grapplers. She's clipping people on the feet. I mean, that knockout of Jessica Ai is probably the greatest women's knockout of all time. And final thoughts. I want Alexa to win because I feel like it's better for the division if Alexa wins. But I'm going to go with Valentina Shevchenko, and I think it's going to be a boring 48-47 decision with her winning the last 3 rounds. And if anybody gets a finish, it's going to be Alexa, in my opinion. But, yeah, Valentina Shevchenko, I think she gets this done. And that's going to be it for the detailed predictions. But here are my overall picks. I got, I don't know why I circled Grasso. That should have been Shevchenko, my bad. But Kevin Holland, Rosas, just think that the grappling is too much of a thing there, and Rosas is going to have some confidence. Daniel impressed me with his win over Lando Venata. Really mixed it up in there. Kyle Nelson, he defeated an undefeated prospect in his last fight. He's going in there again. Pretty short turnaround too, and I don't know. I just have a feeling that because I like to go with some underdog picks, and I feel like Kyle Nelson is a really reliable. Taking us to the prelims, Lupi Godinez is just a given. Josh Fremd, like I said, I don't even know how Daniel Lacita is even in the UFC anymore. He's on like a 4-fight losing streak. Tracy Cortez versus Jasmine Jesuda Vicious. That's a close one, but Tracy hasn't been like in the game for a long time. Jasmine dominated Miranda Maverick in her own game and basically just out-grappled her. And I mean, that's kind of Tracy's strong streak. Alex Reyes, I just don't think that chin's holding up. He's 36, man. He's getting up there. And I'm going to go with Amarnik Man because she's from Montana and I got to represent my Montanas. Anyways, guys, that's going to be it for the video. Thank you for sticking by and watching it with me. Make sure you leave a like, comment down below, and I'll see you in the next one. Have a wonderful night.